Hi there, this is video number 3 in the print collaboration between Lisa Toth and Anne van Oppen. I've etched 5 plates that Lisa drew into and proofed them. All the plates, except for one, were etched in the copper sulfate solution for 25 minutes. And they came out really great. That's the rooster. This is the hen. This is our number 1, the bunny. This is a still life of peaches on a table. And this is a group of lambs. Now, this is one we had problems with. I etched this for only 20 minutes. This was the first plate that Lisa drew on. And even though I etched it for 5 minutes less, we had overbiting in the areas that she wanted to be darkest. So I've worked on this plate a little bit more, and what I've done is I covered the sheep with clear contact paper, and I cut away in the areas that I wanted to get a little bit darker, and I cut away behind their heads. And when that exposed part of the plate was sprayed with a lacquer paint. And then I etched this for another 10 minutes. And they came out pretty good. There were some areas that were a little darker than I wanted. So I then worked on the plate with some other etching tools. And these tools are really nice to have. This is a scraper and a burnisher. You can flatten out the plate with this little spoon end, or sharpen, really cut away at it with that end. This is a little rolling, like I don't know what they call this exactly, but it's got a little bit of a pattern on it, and it can put little more areas to hold ink. So I played around with that, and I'm pretty happy with it. And what I'd like to do now is show you how I do this. I use clear contact paper, which is wonderful. It's not very expensive. You can get it at the hardware store, or I got mine at Osh. People use it, I guess, to cover shelves with and that kind of thing. Hardest part about this is to get the paper separated. Separate this paper. We're going to work on our bunny again first. And you cover the plate entirely with this paper. And it's great because it protects the edges from the etch. And once you have your bunny, or what you're working on covered, you just take an X-Acto blade. I'm going to cut from the edge, cut around here, all the way up and off, and then take this and expose the plate there. This is a really quick way to protect the plate and get a background in. There's a darling little hair there I don't want to cover up, but he might get a little covered. And you come around. I leave just a little bit of an edge. Don't go all the way into the drawing. And this really tends to get the image, make a dramatic effect. So I take, oops, I didn't get it through there. Get that off. Take that, pull it away. Take this area, pull it away. Now, the bunny's face is completely protected here with the contact paper. So we're going to stop for a minute. I'm going to go outside and give this a squirt, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay? Okay. I went and outside so I could give a little spray of acrylic, or actually this is lacquer spray paint, onto the plate, and the plate is now covered with some of the spray. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty because I forgot to clear the nozzle after I used it on the sheep the other day. and I was able to clear it. That's why the spray isn't quite so even, but I sometimes like that. And what you want to aim for is about 50% coverage, so that you get, I don't know, I hope you can see it, about 50% of the plate with a nice fine spray on it. And I'm now going to etch this for 10 minutes, and we'll see what kind of background we get. Okay? See ya. Okay, we're back. The bunny's been in the etch for 10 minutes, and we got a nice little background etch on here. I should tell you that I'm using a piece of plexiglass to put my ink out on, and this is a cool little board that I discovered from Bill Ritchie, the guy who built my press. And it's covered with that non-skid for cabinets, and especially for little plates, it's nice because it holds them still while you're inking them. And I have it just wrapped around another piece of plexiglass. Plexiglass is really great stuff in the studio. This makes it like a mobile little board. I think it's still pretty oily, but I think we're going to see still nice bunny picture. Oh, nice dribble there. And I just squeegee this across the plate in all directions with my little plastic card. And the card pushes, if you hold it at sort of a 45-degree angle, I sort of push and pull, get it all the way to the edges. I want to cover the plate completely because you're going to get some plate tone. And this works pretty well. So I get it all nicely covered. And then I take cut up sheets of foam book. I used to think white pages were better than the yellow pages, but now, since only we have mostly yellow pages, I figure they all work about the same. I like to think up on my plate thing. And I blot the plate a little bit. And I'm just right. And you want to keep your fingers flat. You don't want to pull too hard. And I like to change paper a lot because you don't want to smudge things around. And I just sort of gently, I'm not pushing very hard, I'm just sort of, it's like polishing the plate in a way. And you don't want to lift the ink too quickly. You don't want to draw any ink out of the lines, the fine lines that we've etched in there. And we don't want to pull up too much of our background either. And you can see when you do this a lot, you can see where you've got plate tone and where you might not want plate tone, and you can get rid of it by very carefully rubbing those areas. And then I pick up the plate. Oops. Oh, that's not good. Well, it probably didn't hurt anything. I clean off the back, and I clean off the edges. And if I smudged a little bit, there comes the cat. He's going to help. Okay, so there we have the inked bunny. And now we're going to put it on the press and print it. So hang on for just a second. And we're going to print a proof on my beautiful Halfwood press. This press was built by Bill Ritchie in Seattle, Washington. And it's a Galleon. It's his middle-sized press. And I just love it. I will put the information on the video. So I put this is just a little proof, so I'm not too worried about registration. And I soaked this paper for a little while. This is a scrap piece of BFK. So I'm just going to drop him on there. I like to put a piece of newsprint to help absorb any water. And I haven't set the pressure yet. And I usually, this is really great, the pressure is linked with the chain. So it's really easy to set it. You don't have to set one side and then the other side. What I generally do is get it to affirm around the E on the ruler. So here we go. We're going to run it through. My beautiful press. Coming out the other side. Let's see what we got. There we go. Got a little bunny print. The ink I think was still a little oily, so if I add a little more ink to it, it will come out a little darker. But that's how we put in a background, using spray paint. Okay, we're going to work on the rest of the plates.